This week's movies: Tim's Vermeer, Labor Day, and That Awkward Moment.
Ice cream, Mike? Come on.
Yeah, it's peanut butter chocolate. That's a great flavor. You see it?
Hey, we're going out. No ice cream.
No.
That Awkward Moment is a comedy starring Zac Efron as Jason and Miles Teller as Daniel.
What are you, Bridget Jones?
Really?
It's about three bachelors who end up in relationships despite their pledge to stay single.
Back up, little man.
In his review, Stephen Holden writes, Mr. Efron's blank, weightless performance indicates that he hasn't graduated beyond the fluff of High School Musical. Shredded abs and thick eyelashes are no substitute for comic timing, of which Mr. Efron exhibits none.
Did you post a funny video on Ellie's wall?
No.
Daniel, the most enthusiastically rakish of the three, exudes some mischievous energy, but his repulsive 20-something character, who resembles Elvis Presley's doughy grandson, seems all of 15.
Yeah, man.
But I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
That Awkward Moment desperately tries to outdo Forerunners in gross-out humor, but its jokes end up as limp as a dangling prosthesis.
Man, you're doing it!
Mom, this is Frank.
He was kind enough to offer me a ride.
We really can't help you.
Frankly, this needs to happen.
Written and directed by Jason Reitman, Labor Day is based on the novel by Joyce Maynard about an escaped prisoner who takes refuge with a woman and her son.
Where do you want to go?
Your house.
He wins them over through food. In his review, Stephen Holden writes, Labor Day is an embarrassing come-down for Mr. Reitman, the gifted director of young adult, Juno, Thank You for Smoking, and Up in the Air. It's also absurdly prim.
Maybe you should stay.
The only visible sex in this would-be bodice ripper consists of 2 less-than-sizzling kisses, nor is there a drop of humor. The movie's principal saving grace is Kate Winslet's convincing portrayal of Adele, a despairing woman of low self-esteem just a twitch away from a nervous breakdown. In almost every other respect, this overbaked romantic hokum is preposterous.
They called it painting with light. Vermeer painted with light. You can't paint with light, you have to paint with paint.
Tim's Vermeer is a documentary about Tim Jennison, an inventor who embarks on a journey to discover the secrets of Johannes Vermeer's paintings.
That way, I feel a kinship with him. So I'm going to.
In her review, MANOHLA DARGIS writes, Susan Sontag called interpretation the revenge of the intellectual upon art.
I'm looking at this image and I see something that looks like it came out of a video camera.
Something similar could be said of Mr. Jennison's relationship with Vermeer, which, despite being couched in the nominally objective language of science, has the feel of a 21st century rationalist's attempt to smack down a 17th century mystery.
It looks like a color slide of Kodachrome.
Mr. Jennison appears moved after seeing the original music lesson in Buckingham Palace, but for all his efforts to recreate Vermeer's technique, he seems completely uninterested in Vermeer's art. That he doesn't see that there's a difference makes him a harder-working, better bankrolled version of the cliché gallery-goer who looks at a Pollock and sees a finger painting instead of a revolution.